Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Just like in 2009 and 2010, is it smart for me to make a bunch of okay, remember that they're changing my voice. I'm not gay. Just like in 2009 and 2010, is it smart for me to make a bunch of videos, okay, in a rushed manner these days? Yes, with everything considered. I have 12 different topics I'm going to touch on briefly in this video. Hopefully it'll be less than 5 minutes. We're going to shoot through this. I know they're adding funny sounds to my videos. They're fuming, poisoning me, changing the way I talk. They've even changed the way my face looks and the way my lips are shaped slightly. And they've done a bunch of funny things like that to change the way I talk and to distract me and so on and so forth. But let's get through this thing here. The first point has to do with Sudan. Something like 2,000 or 3,000 people were killed by the RSF forces, okay? And they like to target Darfur. For whatever reason, every time I turn around, they're killing and raping people in Darfur. They think it's smart and stupid. God has noticed. I have noticed who's doing it. The rich in the world, the people who are following their orders instead of martyring themselves, and their souls will be punished to the extreme. No punishment from the white man or the Muslims or anyone else is anywhere as severe as the punishment from God and the top martial arts ever possible. I'm far more of a serious person than you think that I am. I'm far more vicious and deadly than you think that I am. And I'm far more shrewd. Okay, I have no problem cooking people forever. As part of a covenant between God and I, as part of a symbol of God's love for justice and my love for justice, I have no problem with doing that at all. I'm watching the people who are doing these things, okay, in the spiritual realm. I've marked their souls for extreme punishment. I urge them to stop for themselves and their families. They don't have the upper hand, and it doesn't pay to pretend that you have the upper hand, which is a form of mocking God. The second point is Rio de Janeiro. I don't like that people are being turned down all over the world, including in Brazil, South America, Central America, you name it. Mexico, I'm watching that as well in the spiritual realm. I don't appreciate you abusing people. I don't appreciate your political games and your rape and your murder and your Satanism. I urge you all to stop that immediately and to stand firm for what is right, for my global farming plans, for the various plans I have out there, a 10% redistribution plan over 50 years, my 7-point plan, my healthcare analysis plan, okay, and all my plans, right? Affordable housing plan, $200 billion a year for affordable housing. And keep in mind that the government gets revenue from that, and also housing programs for the homeless is part of my 7-point plan, which, you should implement the pay-as-you-can process. My third point is nuclear testing. I don't like psyops. I don't like Cold War stuff. I don't like Satanism. I want Putin and the world to stop playing games with their nuclear bombs, to disarm, and to be smart, and to be wise, to be insightful, to have sense. And consider there's people who are hungry, there's people in the streets, there's people being raped and murdered. Things are out of control. I want them to stop. Whatever you think the script is, I am the true interpretation of the script, and you should listen to me and not yourselves in regards to how to interpret Revelation, what have you. The fourth point, snaps. I want you to cut it out. Stop cutting snaps. I want you to immediately pass my plans and to feed people all over the world immediately, also with a massive farming program. And in recent days, I've decided that I also want you to spend $200 billion, America alone and other countries as well, chipping in their fair share on top of the affordable farming program, the global farming program, okay, to send emergency food assistance to people who are starving all over the world. And even that probably isn't enough. Given enough time and I have a lot on my plate, I'd probably come up with a more specific plan, but I know you people are stubborn. You're stiff-necked, Jew and Gentile alike, straight and gay alike, and you don't like doing the right thing. You don't like listening to God and it's very unfortunate. I urge you to stop for your families. I urge you to stop first and foremost for God Almighty. God is not joking with you people. What you're doing isn't cute. Point number 5 is Hollywood producer. I want all you people in the occult to stop doing all the rapes and murders, all the drugging. It's very sick. You need help immediately. Okay? We need rehabs. We need vice taxes for rehabs. We need people to be responsible in the mental health sector. If they were very responsible, they would have gotten together on their own without anyone telling them to tell the truth about everything, and to correctly define what illness is, what mental illness is, and, all big pharma's gains. People have been doing a little bit of something, but it's nowhere near enough. I know I'm struggling to speak right now. Let me just wrap this up. I'm going over time. In fact, I am over time here. Point number 6, I was told recently, or it's been pointed out to me that, and I'll have to cross-check this, I have a lot on my plate, that 480,000 people die in America alone from tobacco-related deaths. That is outrageous as hell. This tobacco holocaust needs to stop immediately. Okay, why the hell should people want to try smoking cigarettes in the first place? It's stupid. Okay? I want people to scramble to shut that down. I want people to put role models out there, okay, who aren't playing games, not propaganda idiots, people who live in reality, to explain to these people, these children, why not to start smoking cigarettes. It's stupid. It's a sick habit. They need to stop. Point number 7, Ukraine. I want that war to stop already. People are dying. It's very sick. It's very twisted that people are fighting these stupid war game-based wars, these stupid propaganda, sexual control-based wars. I want all the sex trafficking, the rapes to stop. In the spiritual realm, I'm watching everybody. God formed eyes, he sees, and I'm at his right hand. My soul is at his right hand in the spiritual realm. Point number 8, the dumb bombs that Putin is said to have deployed, at least on one of these YouTube channels. I can't remember if it was a more trustworthy source or not, but I decided to write it down because it's significant no matter how you slice it. Okay, people are dropping dumb bombs, figuratively speaking, all over the world, and people are acting dumb. And I want them to start using their damn heads and start standing for what's right and stop reproducing. Okay, the word torture is a play on words, and that's one of my points here. I was supposed to cover it earlier. It's a play on words for torch ear. Now, whose ear is being torched? Well, there's not many righteous people on this planet. The masses of people are being tortured are people who aren't doing God's will. I'm the only one doing God's will. My parents are blameless. The masses of you who are suffering, okay, are suffering because you're doing what the devil says. Don't let the fact that they screen out the righteous historically confuse you. The devil first and foremost tortures the vast majority of wicked people. And the Luciferian light, and I want you to write this down, is a light of torture, including torturing children and women. And there's no excuse for it. I want the devil to stop immediately. How much he suffers for eternity depends on how far he goes to violate the divine and sacred codes and commandments of God. I want everyone helping the devil to stop helping the devil. I want you to stop torturing people. Point number 9. Okay, so in regards to the drug boats, wow, man. Okay, so first of all, I don't like people selling death to people. I don't like drug dealers. I don't like what they're doing. I understand the various cultures that lead up to that. I don't know everybody's situation to a T, or nobody does. And the reason why I'm opposed to him destroying, Trump blowing up these drug boats isn't because those people don't deserve to die. If you bring in tons of drugs that kill people, you deserve to die. However, they didn't get their due process, but that's not such a big deal when we consider the nature of what's going on. What is a big deal here is that they're not building rehabs, okay? They're not hiring more law enforcement. So how are you going to go gun-ho in a spirit of white supremacy and just blow these people up because they're different than you and because you and other whites, Jews, and LGBT people set them up to be drug dealers? That's not right. It's consider the bigger picture. I urge you all to be fair. I urge you all to weigh the motives of people to the best of your ability, but first remove the log from your own eye by coming into the divine order. And so you don't see things in terms of the tree of knowledge, but instead the tree of life, wisdom, understanding, insight, sense. The tree of God. 10, Venezuela. They don't start a damn war in Venezuela. Don't bomb these people. They're sick dictators all over the world. Stop picking on them. 11, they said that the symbol of the American military is an aircraft carrier. And there's all kinds of wordplay there, right? Now, first of all, an aircraft carrier, from what I gather, is not very hard to sink, right? Submarines, bombing it, what have you. And it'd be very expensive if it sinks. It's one of many proofs that there's this psychological operation going on, and they want people, acting like cheerleaders and cheering on the military, why very evil people control all the militaries in the world in this stupid theater of war, the political theater, and all this sick stuff, the theater of Dionysus, ritual madness, religious ecstasy, mass murder, rape. I don't approve of it. I do not approve of it. I want the psychological operations to stop. I want people to tell the truth about everything. Point number 12, Palestine. Okay, what is more anti-Semitic at first glance than expanding Israel and all the wicked things that those particular Jews who are, up to no good are doing? They cause people to hate you. If you don't want people to hate you, Jew and Gentile alike, stop doing things that would make the righteous person hate you, the wicked person hate you, and the lukewarm person hate you, so to speak. That's why a lot of people hate you. And that goes for everybody. I go as far as say we live on a dog-eat-dog planet, and the reason why you people all hate each other is because you're all doing the wrong damn thing. Now, you might be a little bit ticked off that I said this right now, but do you really hate me for telling the truth? Probably not. But you hate each other because you're all abusing each other, and I want you to stop. I forgot to elaborate on the torture argument. So torture, right, when we do the wordplay, which includes the phonetics, right, the sounds, the Phoenician Canaanite system. Okay, you get torch, right? The word torch, T-O-R-C-H. Okay, when you scramble it, you get rot C. You get rot C. Now, why are you being tortured? You're being tortured because you and your forefathers and your ancestors didn't scramble to obey the Royal African Falcon martial art order. Now, I know some of you are racial supremacists, but the truth will set you free if you scramble and obey God through me in time. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Long ago, Babylonians, who were influenced by those wicked people who were from Africa, not all people from Africa were wicked, they went into Europe and they established the Greco-Roman systems, okay, with the other people there, but first and foremost is their kind of cult culture. That's why so many of these deities are comparable. Then that system went throughout the world, okay, in the Setian tradition, in the Antichrist tradition, and established a global system that, simply put, is like a Western system. It's a Roman system. That's why China and the Chinese government has a government style and form that's so similar to Western governments. Okay? There's the Communist Party. Communism is said to come from Germany. Okay, Marx and Engels influenced by Hegel. And Hegel is a play on words for hell egg. And that's one of many things that overkills that the Western system, right, the settlers and setting the stage, is a Babylonian system. What Zion and Jerusalem in the story are to God is what Babylon is to the devil. Babylon, after the followers of a small group, relatively small group of righteous martial artists, established themselves with true reverence, with true martial authority. And the world rebelled. And when the world rebelled, Babylon the Great had fallen, right? The word rebel, right, and rebelled is similar to the words rebelled, right? Or the word rebelled. Okay. So the rebel and the rebuilding process is the foolish builder process. God created man in his image, in his martial image. Adam is a play on words for Ahmad, the righteous indignation of the top martial arts who demands obedience to universal pinpointed moral precision. Then things started falling apart, but not because of the Royal African Falcon martial art order, because of those who are supposed to be a part of it who started to rebel. No matter how you slice it, that is the true story of the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is the garden of the Lord. Adam is superimposed on the idea of the Royal African Falcon martial art order. Where Adam went astray is the part of the human race that went astray. Those people might have been related to this, that, and the other thing, what have you. And Cain and Abel. Cain is those parts of the human genome and the spirits associated that went against the divine order. And so when the followers of Set, right, Bible is by Baal, and Baal is Set's counterpart, with, Torah Harat, okay, and Tanakh, and I went over that wordplay earlier. When they wrote the story, they made it so Seth, which is a play on words for Set, is said to replace Abel, right? And Set and Abel are counterparts, right? So there's different things you can get from it. To make a long story short, you're being tortured because your global system and your individual systems are rebel systems. And they're in rebellion against the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. If you think about everyone's ancestors looking a little bit differently long ago in Africa, and you're gonna see in your mind that some of these guys are Africans who are more righteous than everyone else. And they're demanding, and their spirits are demanding that people obey God through the Royal African Falcon Top Martial Arts Order. And after me, there will not be a valid leader of any race to lead mankind. And changing my voice and causing my videos to be cut off doesn't help you. Fuming and poisoning me, trying to make it so I sound weird, doesn't help you. You people are extremely disgracing yourselves and your ancestors. And it doesn't take a genius to see that you should stop. Your groups must hate you very much because there must be so many other things that make it clear that you're unworthy to lead.